Good evening, box of doggers. Box of doggers? That's a little weird. Alright, I've just been on the phone with my good friend Alex Jones. I recorded that phone call. Excuse me. I wasn't really on the phone, I just been watching InfoWars, but I got something off there that I want to play you. I got to warn you, it's a little disconcerting. As you can see, I've hit the hard stuff. I'm on the red cordial. Times are a little disconcerting. All right, so what's going on? So Putin has been calling world leaders, saying that he has intelligence that Ukraine, backed by NATO, and the globalist scum are about to pull off a false flag by detonating a dirty bomb, those dirty fuckers, on Ukrainian soil, thus bringing in, Ukraine and NATO and all those have said that that is a red line, that if they cross that, but you know what? I'm just going to play you this phone call from the man himself. It's not really a phone call, it's just a segment on InfoWars, but yeah, so strap in, motherfuckers.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this live Monday broadcast. I'm your host, Alex Jones, bringing you very, very solemn, very, very serious news. We've been warning the last 8 years that the globalists were planning a NATO-backed war in Ukraine against Russia.
Wait. I forgot to do the intro.
Again, but I know what'll make you feel better.
Oh no,
Oh no,
not
not another box of
dogs.
dogs. It's another box of dogs. Yay! Right, back to Alex Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this live
Sorry, but
broadcast. I'm your host.
sorry, but I've got to maintain an air of professionality, if that's a word, on this thing, because otherwise you cunts just won't respect me.
Alex Jones bringing you very, very solemn, very, very serious news. We've been warning the last 8 years that the globalists were planning a NATO-backed war in Ukraine against Russia.
This is serious.
And now, after the overthrow of the government 8 years ago and the escalation of the conflict, the Russians invaded, as we all know, in February. And we predicted in October of last year that would happen by the end of February from our research and intel.
And he
And
did
unfortunately,
predict that.
I've got even worse news for you right now. There's a lot of different factors that go into it, so I'll try to lay them out here and then give you my analysis. And unfortunately, my analysis is about 90% at this point that there's going to be full-on public war with Russia and at least a tactical nuclear war in Europe. And I know that that's the unthinkable, but the reason we know that that's where they're going is the globalists need a smokescreen for the collapse of the world financial system and on its ashes to roll out the central bank programmable digital currencies, which again are not Bitcoin, to the opposite, that are centralized and controlled. And then they can program how you can use them, where, and when. Now, let's go back, before we talk about the latest developments with Putin and others getting on the phone to world leaders over the weekend and saying they have credible intel that Ukraine, backed by NATO groups, is set to detonate a dirty bomb, not a tactical nuke, not a nuclear detonation of any type.
It's the boss.
But a classic radiological bomb where you have a bunch of radiological pieces or parts jacketed with explosives, and that basically makes a large area where it's dispersed, extremely radioactive, similar to when a nuclear reactor melts down. Now, let's start walking through the pieces here. After the Russians came out and warned of that, Zelensky, the dictator now of Ukraine, came out and said, oh, that's ridiculous. It's the Russians that are about to do this. We're not going to stage any false flags. Now, remember, our corporate media has tried to blame Russia for the pipeline explosion, and they even tried to claim Russia was behind the bridge as a false flag. But Ukraine couldn't contain themselves and brag that they'd done it with British intelligence, MI6. So these are all massive escalations, all massive upping the ante. Now we have General Petraeus and a bunch of other globalists all over the news. The articles are on Infowars.com saying that there is a multinational group of troops training right now in Poland and in Germany and in other areas made up of Army Special Operations, Army Rangers, and others.
That's true. It's all over Twitter.
To lead a major push into the east of Ukraine.
American troops are in Poland.
Conflict with Russian forces.
We know that.
And Petraeus went on to say that all they need is some type of provocation, like a chemical or radiological attack, not just a tactical nuclear weapon. So they are telegraphing to the world that these are the red lines. Just like they said if Assad used chemical weapons in Syria, that the U.S. would come into the war openly. Well, then we know, because the videos came out, it was confirmed that UN-funded jihadi groups were the ones that launched more than 10 chemical attacks over several years of the Syrian war in an attempt in a false flag to frame the Assad regime as a pretext to, again, publicly bring not just the U.S., but Israel and NATO into that war. Notice that the controlled Western corporate media always criticizes anybody that talks about false flags as if they don't exist. But then on the eve of the Russian invasion in February, the CIA spokesperson at the State Department gave a speech and that was questioned by reporters where he said the Russians are planning false flags, car bombings, and the like as a pretext, as their cover to invade Ukraine. And indeed, there is some evidence that the Russians did indeed set off some car bombs and things as a pretext to say that Russian-held areas were being attacked, and so they had to bring their main military in. The point is, these things do go on. And so now you have the Russians saying that we don't want an escalation, and NATO wants to fully and publicly come in under the guise of this multinational force that Petraeus and others admit is training, is massing, and is preparing. Well, then do we believe Putin or do we believe NATO about who may stage this provocation? Well, who stands to gain? Who has a motive to bring this multinational force in right when the Russians are trying to mobilize and push back the already covert NATO-commanded system with Ukrainian troops, contractors, and others? So obviously, who stands to gain is NATO, is the globalist, and they're the ones already putting out the red lines that there is any type of radiological or biological or chemical attack that they will have the pretext to then have open war with Russia. We're already in a de facto war. So the globalists have the history, they have the motives, they have the background of doing things like this, and that makes them the prime suspects, just like with the destruction of the pipeline or the bridge, not the Russians. These are just facts. So we have to now pull back and ask, why would the multinational combine, the New World Order, the Davos Group, ally with Communist China, why would they launch this war to begin with? Why would they escalate the war? Why would they put over $100 billion and over 20 billion euros alone into this proxy war with Russia that is now an admitted open war with the West, with U.S. troops already dying, embedded inside Ukrainian forces? Because we're not in Kansas anymore. We're not in beta anymore. We are in operational mode of the Great Reset and the Build Back Better program. Now, I talked about this the last 20, I guess it's 30 months or more. It's longer than that now. Hard to believe so much time has flown since early 2020. I said, when they give people these shots, and when it causes heart attacks and blood clots and death, we know it's going to do that from their own documents. They're going to need some giant crisis so big, so horrible, so out of control in the future that as those deaths mount around the world from the shots, we are already in a massive war or a massive cyber attack that makes the power go off for several months. Or, I said, a new virus they'll release that's so bad they can then blame it on the people dying from the poison shot. But I knew that you don't pull off something like this mass sterilization, mass heart attacks, massive cancer, massive blood clots. You don't pull off something like this, now confirmed, without having an even bigger, more deadly crisis in the wings that will make you forget about the last thing they did to you. The way to kill a story is with a bigger story. So that's exactly what they're doing now, and it helps their entire agenda to smokescreen the world collapse, the energy prices exploding, the planetary inflation, by blaming Russia and claiming that that's the reason the energy prices have gone up. And we've seen them already do this, so we know they're carrying out this game plan. That's why it's so easy to predict what they're going to do next. So here's the bottom line. We are at war with Russia. The globalists that control our country are at war with us. They're dissolving our borders, dissolving the police, crimes exploding, suicide, everything else. And they are directing the collapse of the third world through the lockdowns that ended a few months ago. They're directing a world crisis where the industrial carrying capacity of the planetary system collapses, causing mass starvation, death in the third world, explosive crime and poverty in the United States and Europe. And again, out of that, the New World Order technocrats will pose as the saviors, offering the solution, these new global digital currencies with universal basic income that, of course, have the social credit score and the carbon tax. And it's all being rolled out. It's not my opinion now. What is the solution? What is the answer to counter this? I'll talk about solutions when we come back on the other side of the break, and then Owen Schroyer will take over. But please, whatever you do today, spread the word about this broadcast. Share this analysis once it's posted to band.video, because if more and more the political system wakes up to what's happening, we won't sleepwalk into destruction. It's a very small group of globalists at the top that are orchestrating all of this. Most people in the political and corporate system are unaware. It's our job to wake them up. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Alex.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very
No, we heard you the first time. Thank you, Alex. I'm Michelle Obama for BoxOfDogs news and stuff. I'm feeling personally attacked from that last fucking podcast I did. Keep seeing my background now and thinking it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Strength and wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. Strength and I don't know why everything I have is Japanese, but I'm Michelle Obama. And this is a box of dogs. But there we have it. World War III, folks. It's getting exciting now. It's getting so fucking exciting I can't fucking feel my dick anymore. I'm Michelle Obama and you're not. So World War III, false flags, false fags. Good night. I'm Michelle Obama. You've been watching another box of dogs.
Again, but I know what'll make you feel better.
Oh no, not another
It's
box
another
of
box
dogs.
of fucking dogs, mate. It's another fucking box of dogs. It's another box of dogs. Box of dogs, dog. Box of dogs, dog. Go to boxofdogs.dog
Sorry, babe, we
if
got
you
fired
want.
again.